Mock draft 1.0. The Lions picking at 28. I think this one fell defensive tackle heavy because you have two options, I think, available to you that I think the Lions would be happy with. One being Derek Harmon out of Oregon, who's a former Michigan State transfer, and then Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. You also have Tyleik Williams in the mix, who we did take in a previous mock draft as well. So again, you have a lot of options here. And really it comes down to the scheme fit and where do they see these guys kind of coming in. I like Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. And remember, he played next to Mason Graham, which he will really be taken higher in this draft. But I think you can't discount Kenneth Grant on his side. So I like him there. But at the same time, you could make the argument, because he was playing next to such a premier player, that kind of opened up some things for him. So that argument certainly can be made. With this particular scenario, I really like the defensive tackle out of Oregon. I liked him when he was at Michigan State, and then he continued that play and had a big 2024. So at pick 28, I'm taking the defensive tackle, Derek Harmon, out of Oregon. This mock sim is an interesting case because at pick 60, I think a gentleman fell to us here that almost makes it impossible not to draft. If at pick 60, Donovan Jackson, the guard out of Ohio State, is available, I think it is a no-brainer. And the assumption here is that the Lions went defense in round one, which of course I did here with Derek Harmon. So with that being said, I would be so thrilled to see Donovan Jackson still on the board. I would rush up there with my card. And at pick 60 in this mock sim, the Lions are taking offensive guard out of Ohio State, Donovan Jackson. And wouldn't you know it, for the Lions' third and final pick here in this mock sim, it fell to them where there's just so many options here in the edge position. And I think that's what the Lions would need based on my first couple picks, where we went defensive tackle up front in the first round. We followed it up with the offensive guard, and now we are back in the third round, and I see three options. Josiah Stewart out of Michigan, you have Braden Swinson out of LSU, and Jordan Burch out of Oregon. And I know I'm going very Oregon heavy with this here, but to me, he's the obvious pick because of his sheer size. He is 6'6". Okay, and you're talking about Aiden Hutchinson on one end and a 6'6" monster on the other side. He was very productive. I think he has some honing of his athletic skills to do, but I think, again, you'll have some other pieces so that he doesn't have to step in and have to be dominant day one. But I think there's so much upside there. His size alone is hard to get past. So to me, if the Lions have an opportunity based on this mock sim in the third round, we are selecting Jordan Burch, the edge out of Oregon. This final mock sim played out to where we added so much beef up front on the defensive line. We are talking huge guys with Derek Harmon and Jordan Burch. Obviously at 28, we went defensive tackle. Then at 60, the second round pick, we solidified the depth of our offensive line with guard Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. Finished it up with the monster edge Jordan Burch out of Oregon.